Welcome to Crew Expendable. I am totally in cryo sleep, you guys. Seriously, Hallstrom.
I am Double Agent Rohrbacher.
I wish fucking Coolerbot was in this episode. Bob.
And I am the other I, Danny.
And we are stupidly screwing up proper containment procedures just all over the Alien franchise.
Mm-hmm. Ain't that the fucking truth?
Everywhere.
Everywhere. They won't stop.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Bob, Danny, it's been a little while.
It's been about a week.
Yeah, like a week. That's correct.
Week for you, what, 2 weeks since you've been
2
on,
weeks for
Danny?
me. 2 weeks for me. I only do the odd episodes, or maybe
Yes.
3 weeks. Yeah, two. Yeah.
And this was an odd episode. We are, of course, talking Alien Earth, Episode 5, In Space, No One, ...
I think there's only 3 dots.
No, not according to my notes.
And by the way, it's not ... 3 dots is called an ellipsis. I'll have you know.
It's Morse
And
code.
if you're tuning into the show for our Alien Earth episodes, as a reminder, we're spoiling the crap out of these. We just watched the episode. All 4 of us just finished. And we're just going to do a roundtable discussion of it. Not our normal formats for normal episodes. So strap
Deal
in.
with it.
We're gonna rip. I would say we're gonna rip this sucker apart, but I don't mean that in like a negative way.
Unless we
Right.
do mean that in a negative
Sure.
way. We actually don't know how we feel about the
Not
episode.
How I
collectively.
feel.
Yeah, we don't talk about, like, we don't tell each other our opinions on it before we start recording, so we find out live while we're making the episode how each of us
That's
feels
right.
about it.
Before we get into the discussion, though, let's plug some stuff here. Bob, what do you got going on?
Hey, I got a mosquito flying around my room, so I just clapped. So if you heard that noise, that's what it was.
Hell yeah.
I was cheering the mosquito on. I do a podcast about video games and mostly vegan food in Richmond, Virginia, and the Gundam trading card game. I also stream on Friday nights. If you're hearing this the day it comes out, then this week I got a big special event effort stream, I call them.
Hell yeah.
Where I'm going to do some fun stuff on there with some friends. Twitch.tv/respectable street.
Bob, my designation was almost a killer of places for vegans to gather. But I was like, is he going to remember that?
I remember. It's burned into my brain. I did listen to that podcast twice today.
All right. I was like, I'll keep this. This is a little inside baseball. I'll
Definitely.
make an alien reference. Anyway, Danny, what do you have going on?
I kind of do everything that Bob doesn't cover because I don't cover vegan food. In video games, we don't really cover that. But everything else,
If I remember,
including
you're,
a little
you're
Gundam.
morally opposed to vegan food. Is that right?
not morally opposed. Just
Just ethically
You're like a
opposed.
carnivore
Got it.
diet guy, right?
it's
You're super
culturally
paleo.
opposed. I feel like
okay.
my parents would disown me. They wouldn't understand that lifestyle, and I don't want to put them through that.
You just don't talk about it in the household. Gotcha.
That's right. But yeah, we talk about comics, movies. This week we got some pretty big stuff. If you're listening the week of release, that Marvel Zombies trailer dropped, and I did a whole video on that. Looks pretty freaking rad. And then,
right.
of course, big Batman #1 this week as well. So
Oh
you
yeah,
can
man.
head
I'm
over
really
to my
looking
channel
forward
and
to
check that out.
So, what's your channel? Drop it for everyone.
Oh yeah, Next Issue Podcast. Great work, Neal. I was like, yeah, they just know.
Yeah.
They just
Well,
know.
we do reference you a lot, and have just dropped links to you in certain episode descriptions where we've just brought you up. We've been like, I'll put a link to his channel in the description.
I appreciate that. Every time I do an Alien or Predator related video,
Yeah.
I tag Crew Expendable on the YouTube.
Yeah, and with
Hey,
the
that's
words
us.
"Don't go here."
yeah. Stay
right.
away.
Do not click this
Yeah.
link.
All right, we have a couple things to plug too, Kenny.
Do I know this
Well, we're going to
already?
plug our fundraising page over there at coolerbot.net if you want to
That's right.
throw us a couple dollars to just help us help us keep the lights on here, because as we've said many times, we pay for hosting to make sure we're getting good hosting and aren't being forced to run ads. And we've had a couple of donors here. I want to give a shout out to Silas, who wants us to, quote, have a Prodigy decaf hazelnut mocha latte double shot with the money, which honestly I could use because I'm really tired, guys.
And I would like to shout out our other supporter, our pal Vapey. Vapey, what up? He says, big ups, Kenny. Great voice on you, Neal. And then after a line break, Bob's all right too. I guess keep having him on.
Yeah. Silas and Vapey,
So,
thank you.
thanks,
Thanks,
pals.
guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you want to join the ranks of Silas, Vapey, Bob, Chris, everyone else, coolerbot.net. Just throw us a dollar or two. Kenny and I are working out some ways to thank everybody.
And when he says thank everyone, we mean with additional content. Wink, wink.
And we also mean thank everybody also.
Yes.
So,
yes,
yeah.
that is correct. That phrase was intended to be taken literally, yes.
Anyway, plugs out of the way. Let's dive into our discussion of Alien Earth Episode 5. The episode where we had to learn the names of a whole bunch of characters suddenly.
Well, they wanted us to learn the names of them, but almost none of them I actually retained the names of. Like sitting here now that we're done with the episode, and it's been not quite an hour since I finished it. Morrow is the only character name I can say with confidence that I still for sure 100% remember.
I got a bunch of them, but like my opening notes when I saw that this was going to take place on the Maginot. Is that how we pronounce it? Maginot?
Maginot, yes.
Yeah, the Maginot, yeah.
My note are, hell yeah, a Maginot episode, but shit, now I have to remember new names. Is that stressful for anybody else or just me?
I think knowing that no one survives, that took a big weight off my shoulders of remembering anything about their character traits.
It's like trying to...
I'll agree with that. Yeah, I feel basically the same.
Like trying to remember the names of any character in a Friday the 13th movie except the final girl, right?
That's right.
Just, what's the point? Right. You know,
I will say, even though we already knew what was going to happen, that did not in any way diminish the tension I felt going into every freaking scene into this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, like no joke, like of the 5 episodes we've seen, this might be the one that I would classify as the most tense so far.
Let's go around the horn here, so to speak, and just give our general thoughts. Kenny, how did you feel just compared to the other episodes of the TV show? How are you feeling about this one? You feeling up about it, down about it? You know?
It's not my favorite episode of the show so far. I think the last one probably still is, but I actually really like this episode a lot. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was really thrilling and gross. The aliens are cool. We see a lot of a whole bunch of them, which is really fun. The tension really worked for me. I was very satisfied by this episode. Hey, look, my opinion is so great. I'm being applauded.
I'm going
for
absolutely psycho on this mosquito, and he's evading every one of my swipes.
Jesus, be careful! It might be one of those alien ticks.
Very cool.
Distracted a bit.
All right. Well, Bob, we'll go to Danny then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when the episode was almost done, I saw how long it was left, and I was like, "All right, Hulu has like 7 minutes of credits, whatever." I messaged Neal and Kenny like, do you guys need somebody else to talk about this tonight? So that should give you a little bit of an inkling.
Okay.
This felt to me like, Holly's like, in one of these, I'm just gonna do my Alien movie,
Hmm. Yeah.
and that's what we got. And yeah, I really enjoy it as much as I like the other stuff that's not like all Alien all the time. This was probably my favorite episode so far, just because it's like, oh yeah, this is an Alien show. At one moment during this episode, I
Yeah.
quoted the great Ken Watanabe and said, "Let them fight."
Okay. Sure.
So
And I am pretty sure I know precisely
Yeah,
which
yeah,
one
yeah.
that was.
Yeah, man. We finally got our xenomorph versus engineer fight, just not in the way we really wanted to, did we?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will agree with you there, though, Danny, with one big thing is I don't remember what point it was during this episode, but at some point I remember thinking to myself, just while one of the action scenes is happening, I was like, if Noah Hawley got hired to do an Alien movie rather than a TV show, I have a feeling that the story of the Maginot would have been what the movie was about rather than the Earth stuff, And because how you were like, he basically just used this episode to just make what he would do as an Alien movie. That's the exact same feeling I got. I was like, this is him saying, this is what I would do if I was hired to make a movie and not a show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you cut the first, like a little bit of the first episode. You edited in, like when they're having dinner and stuff.
Mhm.
And then you splice it in with this one, and you got an Alien movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
Uh, Bob probably still fighting for his life against this mosquito, so I'm going to go ahead and
No,
say,
I'm good now. Let me take this one, Neal.
all right. I didn't want to like go last as if like I'm holding my opinion as like I got to have the final word. But
Well,
go ahead, Bob.
You are the de facto leader of the group, so we'll defer to you with our ultimate opinions. But I will say that I did very much like this episode. There were some things that bugged me about it. The main thing, the thing holding this back from liking it as much as I liked the previous episode is I do wish that this is a problem that a lot of limited run shows have.
Yeah.
Where we're like last episode, that's the halfway point of the series. There's not many episodes left. Now we get a bottle episode that doesn't really involve the main plot or the main characters.
And is about an entirely different, completely separate set of characters that we've only briefly seen. And it's like we get to the point where the plot's like really starting to ramp up, and then they're like, we're just going to go off and do this little side quest, by the way.
I wish this episode's contents was told through, little vignettes throughout the series so far. I think that would have been an interesting way to do it. Not that I don't like this episode as a standalone, but I feel like we could have just gotten 5-minute chunks of this episode interspersed throughout the first 4 episodes, or I guess the 5 episodes so far.
Yeah.
I think I would have preferred that as far as just like a pacing thing goes, but it was fun. It was very much, what you expect from Alien capital A.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you on a lot of that. I also enjoyed this for the most part. It is also a lesson that I have to now learn in be careful what you ask for, because while we did basically get Alien, like an Alien movie in this television show, we also got the made-for-TV version of an Alien movie at the same time.
Yeah.
And that is just not as effective at all for me. And I feel like it wasn't packing the punch of watching. It wasn't as good, right? The things that really bugs me are small things, but they are things that like really mean a lot to what makes Alien work for me. For starters, I'll just say it. This mission's been going on for 65 years, and these people have been swapping out, cryo, crews in and out of the cryopods for 65 years.
Mhm.
Why is everyone's
Mhm.
clothes so goddamn clean? Why is the ship so goddamn clean, except for like the engineering deck? The Nostromo was out there for 9 months and it looked like a frat house, you know? And
Yeah.
like they're all there was enough indoor smoking in this that those walls should be tar stained and everything. It was too polished inside, even though it was trying to look like Alien. And that's, a small thing, but it really did just make me feel like, oh, I am watching a cheap version of something that I've already seen. Right.
Yeah, that's okay. So touching on that of something you've already seen, the parts of this, like the parts of the Maginot story that interest me the most is not necessarily the xenomorph life cycle and xenomorph attack on the ship. We've seen
Sure.
that before. What interested me about this episode was the corporate espionage,
Okay.
and I'm mostly interested in like the mission that they were on, like them
Right.
procuring these specimens. Like that seems like the interesting part to me. We've seen xenomorph run around on spaceship before.
Yeah.
That's true.
So
It's usually a good time.
yeah, but it's usually a good time, but it's been done, like it's been perfected,
Right.
in the first film. Like
They got it right the first time. Right.
they
That's why
nailed
the
it.
second one didn't take place on a spaceship.
Yeah, so I don't love the return to that form. It was giving Alien Isolation a lot.
Mhm.
I also thought that,
Okay.
yes.
Just looking like the thing so that you applaud it, in class
Yeah,
and say, "Hey, it looks like the thing I know."
yeah. I mean, we got wet chain room.
Yeah.
I was hooting and
Mhm.
hollering.
We got
Wet
those ladders that
chains.
go up and down between the decks that,
That's right.
I I think one thing that helps me enjoy this more is that I'm not steeped in alien stuff, right? Like I really only keep up with the movies and some of the comics.
Sure.
Where
Yeah.
you guys are like
Mhm.
deep into all like the games and the books, and you've probably seen more wet chains in your lifetime than most people
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot
You
of
should
fucking wet chains in the
that
you should
Alien
than
see my
most
franchise.
people
For
bedroom,
ever
sure.
man.
will,
Ooh, I got some wet chains
right?
over here.
Yeah.
So it definitely is like it feels like diminishing returns.
18
Whereas like,
minutes.
oh,
We're
this
gonna
is
edit that
maybe
out.
like the third time now with Romulus that it really feels like that same type of movie or story, especially with this episode. So
Yeah.
less is more, I say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's a totally fair perspective, right? We have been sort of by design um bathing ourselves in this stuff. I don't know
In the
why
wet
I'm
chains.
using these terms tonight, guys, but like the thing that I kept thinking
Yeah.
was like this does feel like if you adapted one of these alien novels or something, right? It's got the story and the feel and the sort of narrative pacing of not a movie, but of some other just I mean, like a TV show, but if I'm applying it to a different kind of alien media, right? It is more in line with an alien novel to me than it is with like an alien movie in terms of how they're telling the story and
Yeah.
the
Well, I mean that makes sense. It's like long form, like
right. Well,
episodic stuff. It has to have the additional plot structure the same way a book would be because it lasts so
but I
much
mean
longer.
specifically just this one episode. Like
Ah,
this one
gotcha. Okay.
episode doesn't feel like the story of an alien movie. It feels like the story of an alien book for some reason, and it is probably just the way it was written and paced and everything.
And I think that's why they used that device at the end of Morrow being with Utani. So he was pretty much recanting the what happened, because we really only pick up the beats where Morrow's really like awake, right? We start with him waking up,
Yeah.
and we get all
Yeah.
the way to when we see him get on the little pod to survive the crash. So this is pretty much him filling in Utani on what's going on. So that's why I feel like that's kind of why it's. I think it's smart that they added that scene at the end, so that you're like, well, how, whose point of view are we all seeing this from? How does this kind of connect back to the story that we've been seeing? And then it
Mhm.
also lets us know, like, oh yeah, and Morrow decided that he needed to go back to Utani before whatever the
Yep.
next move is for them.
Right. I think I think the other reason it maybe doesn't feel like a movie to me is that and to tie into what you're saying, we're seeing Morrow's perspective because he's the only character in this we're actually supposed to care about. I didn't feel anything for any of the rest of this crew, even knowing they were all going to die. Like, that's a good chance to like build up some character and some, just some feelings for everybody else besides Morrow to make you feel like any of this matters, on an emotional level.
Yeah, that was part
outside of him. And it just doesn't, right? And so it feels like a novel we're only supposed to care about the main character of the novel, and that's it. And maybe there's an additional character, but typically there's just the one guy, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's the end of my thought there.
That was my problem with like it having tension in I guess in like just a suspense kind of way, but not in a way where anything mattered, because ultimately what happens to everyone.
Right.
So like it's just a matter of knowing, are they going to die in this encounter or are they going to die in a different encounter? Like it was hard for me to like have the tension of like that type of tension for the characters. It was mostly just tense for like the setting and the vibe.
Right. Yeah, and there were some tense moments for me too, and there was some very good monster stuff in this, which I'm always excited for.
Yeah,
and you
there
could tell
was.
that
Ooh, baby.
like that's where they put the budget, right? They put the budget into the monster special effects, which I appreciated. I think that this is the best the Xenomorph has looked in the entire series so far.
Oh my god!
Agreed.
And it
hallway
might be,
scene.
Yeah, that hallway chase was very, when it was chasing Zaverny, right?
It's a very
Science, was she the science officer turned captain or
acting captain? Yeah.
The acting captain. I forget what her official rank was prior to that, but she was not the science officer. Bronsky was. Pardon me.
Bronsky was the science officer.
Who cares? She's acting captain. Acting captain.
Well, she's actually captain after a certain point when she goes and tells Mother, "I'm the captain now because the old captain is dead," and Mother's like, "You
She's like, Mother,
got
look
it."
at me. Look at me, right?
That is exactly what happened. Yes.
Acknowledge. Acknowledge.
Speaking of the characters, though, am I the only person here that got surprised when Mr. Tang got killed by a xenomorph? Because I had been thinking the entire time that he was a synth.
He was definitely... I was suspecting he was a synth, except that he was smoking a cigarette in the scene.
Wait, so he's not a synth?
No.
Well, I mean, a xenomorph attacked him and killed him, and when he was just sitting there at a table, and like presumably, if he was a synth, it wouldn't have done that.
They xenomorphs still go after synths, don't they? I remember. I mean, in Romulus, we saw that one of the xenomorphs killed the synth they found. I forget his name.
Generally,
Rook.
Generally, they go after synths when the synths are presented as a threat. But what am I trying to say? He like screamed when the xenomorph came after him. So he smoked a cigarette and he screamed in terror when the xenomorph came after him. Two non-synth-like behaviors. So I don't think that he was.
Yeah.
I think he was just a fucking
creep.
Yeah,
that entire time I had thought he was a synth, and then they like imply that a xenomorph is about to kill him, and I went, "Wait, hold the fucking phone. He's like a human?
Yeah.
Okay, what the fuck?"
What do you guys think about him creeping on a woman in her underwear stuck in a cryopod?
Pretty crazy.
It's his one character trait, so I guess they had to give him something.
Scumbag.
Some of us call that a character flaw, Kenny.
Well, a trait is simply a value neutral thing, I'll have you know. I did not say it was good or bad.
So my note here says when they've gathered all the crew who's awake and Zaverny's telling them about like the sabotage and everything, he's sitting there smoking a cigarette, so he's probably not a synth. And that was before the interrogations and before he got
No, you're right. The fandom website lists him as a human.
I do like that he's the one who I like that he's the one who tips Morrow off to be like, think about this. Maybe it's somebody who's not really in the cryopods, like not really asleep, is getting out
Yeah,
as the
man, like
saboteur.
the sudden introduction of a double agent, I genuinely didn't see that coming as part of the plot of this episode.
Yeah, and like my first instinct was like, how is he able to get away with this? How can he just like chill in a cryopod and nobody notices and he hops out? Like, don't they have like monitoring systems and stuff? And then I realized, well, they picked the right character because he's a senior engineer, so he's probably modified the system, right? He's, you know,
Yeah,
he knows what he's doing. So I was like, okay, never mind. I'll let it go. Yeah.
that's fair.
A lot of engineers on this ship.
Sure are.
I might.
Yeah.
I like that the engineers are portrayed as like Dickensian, like chimney sweeps.
They're the only ones that got a little bit of dirt on them, right?
Like a
Like-
comic
That's
amount
right.
of dirt, though. Like they're covered in soot, and they're the only ones who are covered in dirt.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
They're the working class, you know, guys, right?
Mhm.
They're the ones who are, you know, doing the real work, and they're only getting a quarter of a share each, you know. And
That's right. They
and
certainly
that's
are.
just directly, you know, trying to reference Alien, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm fine with it's consistency about the world, so that's fine. It's consistency about how Weyland-Yutani pays people on their trips, right? So,
And this is happening. Well, I mean, the ship launched 65 years prior, but when we're seeing what's happening on the ship, this is like 2 years before the events of the original movie. So clearly, making a big deal about shares is like something that is important to this point in the timeline. Because every time a story is told at around this point, they always talk about
right.
shares.
Well, they're
you know?
almost back now, and also
right.
he does mention Shmuel, the older of the two, does mention that when he left, his wife was like 30, and when he gets back, she'll be older than he is. So we are dealing with some time dilation shit here.
Mhm.
So they've been gone 65 years, obviously, but it's not like they're being preserved. And this is obvious, I think, but it's confirmed. They're not like being in suspended animation in cryo sleep. We're dealing with like they've been traveling faster than light and they're returning back 65 years after they left. But for them, it hasn't been literally 65 years that they've been experiencing this trip, right?
I do like to imagine that Shmuel was Malachite's age. He was the apprentice to the previous engineer,
When they
and then he
started.
just aged all this time. So like the engineers, they just die,
It's an
and they
engineer
just take on a new
generation ship.
apprentice. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. What else?
I did feel bad for him though, because the moment I saw him drink that bottle of water, I was like, "Oh man, come
Malachite.
on!"
Okay, I got to talk about that fucking. Sorry, let me calm down for a second here. You know how I talk about how there's always like some stupid shit in these things that it makes me angry, like some
Is it
kind of
the
thing they
acting of
do
the kid?
to move the plot along. It was this fucking lab scene.
Chibuzo. Yeah.
What's her name?
Chibuzo.
Chibuzo. Just incompetent at her fucking job. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yes.
These people deserve to die. Okay. I hated this. She's just in there. She like opens the thing. She closes it. The tick figures out how to open it out and just dumps a bunch of larvae into her water bottle that she leaves open. And she's eating a sandwich right there because, you know, she deals with gross stuff all the time. So who cares? It's like how you always see morticians eating in, you know, autopsy scenes in like NCIS or whatever.
Yeah.
But then she like, first of all, was the Oculus trying to warn her about the blood tick?
That's certainly what it looked like. That's what I'm choosing to take that to mean.
So then
yes.
she's like ignoring a warning, we'll call it, even if it isn't actually that. And then like sticking the Oculus on the wall, but not locking it down because she gets distracted because she left the jar, because the jar got open and the blood tick got out. And then they run out of there and she doesn't check protocols. And then all of this shit goes bad. not as a result, but a whole bunch of extra shit goes bad as a result, right? And I hate this kind of stuff happening, just things happening just because of pure stupidity.
It felt to me very like Final Destination,
Yeah, but
where
not
like all these little things, like it starts and just kind of creates this chain reaction. It was interesting that it was Malachite that drank the thing instead, and that's just more of a like I would never share my bottle of water after 2020 with anyone.
I got two things. First, it feels very Final Destination, but it feels Final Destination 4, which is the really bad one. And then the water bottle thing was stupid. She grabs her water bottle and she leaves. Now, I carry a water bottle. You guys carry water bottles at all?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not really. No.
I do. Not to, I need to actually. One of my medicines, I have to be careful about my hydration. Who cares? When I'm carrying a water bottle, I'm sipping it. I'm not waiting till I get where I go and sitting down and letting it sit there. Like, I'm going to have a sip. And then if I'm about to have a sip and someone bumps me, I don't then forget that I'm about to have a sip of that water and set it down like she did. This fucking the tease with her drinking, or is she going to drink or is she not going to drink? She would have drank half that water bottle on her way to the mess hall. It wasn't believable to me.
I agree, actually.
It just wasn't believable to me.
I didn't have a problem with any of that because, like, any of that scene of like her, like, making those mistakes and stuff. I didn't like none of that stuff bothered me because the problem is that there is no way to depict on screen normal human error without making them look like a moron. And so I was just like, that's just how it always ends up getting portrayed, even though mistakes are just natural when you're doing something. So I didn't really think anything of it at all or think it was weird at all.
I think that there are good versions of doing that. And I do think that this was probably cranked up and played a little bit for like dark comedy aspects, because apparently Noah Hawley's kind of got a sense of humor about these things.
I mean, you've seen Legion, right?
I've seen some of Legion. I have not seen all of Legion.
He's a funny guy.
Yeah. Okay.
I do want to I want to comment on. I don't know what Malachite was eating, but it looked like cake to me. And then he said it was spicy.
He said it was lo mein.
Put a lot of hot sauce on it.
He was calling it lao mein. I think it was like instant noodles or something.
I thought it was a fucking omelet, so whatever.
It looked like there were sprinkles on top of it or something.
Space food.
Maybe that's why he needed water so bad, because it was disgusting.
Maybe.
Can't waste food though.
Can I say something that really bothered me?
Only I'm allowed to say things about. Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Maybe the opening lines of the episode when Morrow gets woken up from cryo by the worst actor on the show, and his first question was, "What day is it?" It's Thursday.
Yeah,
bro, you're in space. What are you talking about? There's no Thursdays.
Bro, you're in space. There's no up and there's no Thursdays. All right.
Yeah, like
that was really funny.
It was just it struck me so off guard that I was like, I couldn't pay attention to the next like 5 minutes of the episode because I was like, wait, what the fuck? Thursday? They're keeping days of the week?
Yeah, that's
Well, I mean, later on, the engineer is like, was it the engineer? Or I don't remember who it was exactly, but he's like counting down the exact number of seconds they have until the ship lands back on Earth. So yeah, like to me, I suppose with a certain mindset, it would make sense to know what day of the week it is on Earth, because if he's counting down the number of seconds they have left, that's presumably based on the time it was on Earth when they left.
Sure, but what I'm saying is there's a difference between amount of time and day of the week.
Right.
Like there's the concept of day of the week means nothing when there is no sun up or sun down and you're going for extended period of time. It's an
arbitrary calendar at that point,
Right. Like you're not going to return to Earth on a Thursday if you are planning, if that it lines up with your spaceship calendar.
Maybe this
Right.
guy loves
It winds up being-
TGIF and he's just like, fuck it, it's Thursday, baby. We're almost there.
TGIF. Well, they were
right.
17 days from Earth. So do we want to do the math and say if this Thursday, how many days would they, like what day of the week?
Sunday.
Okay. This is quick. You already did the math. Got it.
Well, Thursday and then 2 weeks and then add 3 more
Right.
days.
Well,
So
I'm glad you're on top of things. So they would have gotten back on a Sunday when all the good stores are closed
Yeah.
early anyway.
Fuck.
that's right.
Yeah.
I like
So
that
hold
they
on.
keep
So
talking.
did they crash on a Sunday then, or did they crash on a different day? And that means that her brother, that hermit, like went to try to get out of his recruitment on a Sunday. The offices were open.
I didn't think that was the same day.
Well, that was the day that the ship crashed.
I thought it was the day
Yeah, I thought it was
before
the
the
day
ship
So their
crashed.
offices are open on a Saturday. The question still stands.
They could have
Well, I
slowed
mean,
down.
That doesn't. I mean, that seems reasonable to me. The DMV is open on Saturdays, so why
Barely.
not? But it
I have to
still
go in person to
is.
get my car registration done, and get them. Never mind. We don't have time.
Like you say, like even if you're like, oh, they're only open for 4 hours or whatever, that means they're still are open on that day. Like that's
Yeah,
my
but good luck
point.
getting an appointment. All right.
The
They
other
could have
thing-
slowed down because they were running out of they ran out of fuel, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
So yeah, they could have slowed down or sped up, or I don't know how space works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To be fair, neither do I. So
The other thing that was crazy to me was the Captain Dinsdale.
Dinsdale. Yeah.
Yep.
Was this? Yeah. Is this his death?
When they
Okay.
when they put him in the body bag, it's kind of wild that they make. I guess in space they make body bags with a little window for the face, which seems
Yeah.
they sure do. That was a weird. That
Just
was
for viewing
weird. Yeah.
purposes, you can say your goodbyes and everything before they rocket you out into nothingness for all
Just-
eternity.
I guess so. That struck me as odd. Like it's not necessarily a casket, right? It's a body bag. It's for transporting a
Yes.
corpse.
Especially because he had a fucking face hugger on his face. Like, what would you want to see that?
Yeah, I thought it was weird that they launched his body in the first place because, like, I would have thought that they wanted to keep the specimen
Yeah.
because he still had a face.
Didn't
hugger
they
on
say
him.
specifically put everyone who's been contaminated in cryo?
They did. They explicitly
Yeah,
said
but then-
that. Yes, that's why I was like, why did they launch his fucking body? Then they should be keeping it in storage.
They only do. He's dead. They say that tomorrow. The engineers say that tomorrow that they should blast him out of the airlock or something, and maybe the doctor does it without clearing it. But
Yeah, I don't remember him ever getting permission from anyone. They were just so like, oh, the captain's dead, and then we cut to him just shooting the body out, and I was
Right.
like, I don't remember anyone saying.
But
he
that's
could
what they
that.
do. I mean, they did that in Alien with the bodies also, right? That's an established thing. And I think they already had other facehugger specimens, like they had one in a jar in the lab, and then they have what's his name? Bronsky in the cryo tube with the facehugger. So I think they were like, this one's dead, Captain's dead. It melted through his neck, which was rad. They tried to cut the tail off. They tried to make that incision at the base of the tail, the same place that Ash made the incision in Alien.
Mhm.
And this time they incisioned a little too hard and took his head off, which was rad.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
So I think they were like, yeah, we fucked up. Let's just get rid of the body. This is a biohazard at this point, right? Yeah.
I suppose.
It didn't. I don't know. It may, unless I missed something, it didn't stand out to me. It seemed like they were all in agreement that they were going to launch that one and put the other one in cryo.
Yeah, I got the exact opposite opinion of it, where I was like, oh, he's dead, so they should be putting his body in storage. And then it just cuts to this dude just doing it. And I was like, I don't think he got authorization to do this, but he just does it anyway. And like nobody stops him. And I'm like, all right, whatever, I guess.
I liked seeing the security footage of how that whole thing played out with the fire and with the guys running in and then seeing
that
the
security
facehuggers.
footage.
Mm-hmm.
That was a genuinely cool impressive scene to me. That was a tense
Yeah,
scene.
yes, Danny. Only that security footage, not any of the other footage.
I like the security
Yeah.
footage when they were getting busy on a spaceship.
So my note
Thank you,
after
Bob.
Mara watches security footage, dope scene, we see the whole fire facehugger thing, and he sees a stranger hiding. My next note is, dang, we get a fuck scene. Yeah,
we sure do.
We get a fuck scene. This is the second one. I think we got Alien Covenant,
Yeah,
right?
in the shower.
Which I was about to call Alien Covenant Origins, just out of habit.
Nice work.
And
I
then we
wish
get
Morrow, when he was watching that, had said, "You're right. That's pretty vanilla."
he's like at least use the wet chains next time, guys. Come on.
That's right. Got to use them for something.
Yeah, and then I says Morrow has it on film, that little creep. Yeah, and then when Zaverny's like putting the dirt on Bronski's pod from the dirt she brought from her home from Utah, which is kind of like nice symbolism. It's pretty interesting, and I like that she spreads the dirt like so that where the camera is positioned, it looks like it's foreshadowing the chest burster coming out of his chest.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty cool. But then I didn't like that at the end of her flashing back or him. It was the flashback to the love making scene because it wasn't through the security footage. He has a face hugger on his face at the end.
Yeah, it's like a brief.
And there's like a
flash,
music sting, and I could have done without that because it was poorly timed and just not effective, and just felt really cheesy.
I jumped.
I'm not gonna lie, I had completely forgotten that even happened until you brought it up right now. That's how effective
I wrote
it
it
was.
down.
No, I jumped. So
You
they got
jumped?
me.
Well, you're
They
afraid of
got
sex,
me.
right?
Well, I'm afraid of the face hugger sex.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, same here. And then I wrote, someone is creeping around the ship. The humans are the xenomorphs now, in all caps, because that's the symbolism there, guys. All right.
There was another really cool shot with the Octo that it kind of walks over the camera.
Oh, yeah.
That was so rad. Like
Cool.
they do some really cool camera work in the show, and that was one of the really cool things.
Yes. Was that when they were leaving the lab?
When they're trying to seal the lab, and then you just see the Octo at the end, like, I'm coming.
Yeah. Or did they do it again when Morrow and is it Clem are in the shootout with the
Bronsky?
No, Petrovich, and they get into they're in the things creeping around too. Anyway,
during the shootout, I was laughing because it almost felt to me like Morrow was moving him into the way of the fire.
Yeah, a little bit maybe.
A little bit, yeah, maybe.
Morrow.
I also like how the little octopus guy slingshots himself around with his little tentacles.
He's
That's
a
really
fucking
fun.
scene stealer.
I love that guy so fucking much. He rules.
I was so excited. You could tell, like it wasn't the lady in the lab. It was, but I knew he was going to get a person in this episode. It wasn't Chibuzo, but I was like, he's going to get a human. We're going to see him take over a human finally.
And then what does that human do? Attack a xenomorph. And I was like, all right, I'm down with this.
That was cool.
Did the Octo call out to the xenomorph?
That's what I was confused
the door's
about.
open?
I wrote down in my notes also like confusing.
Seemed like it
for that part because I guess it was unclear. It seemed like they were going to team up and then they started fighting each other.
Well, again, if the Oculus had a moment where it was warning the lab person, Chibuzo, right?
Yeah.
I don't have her name in front of me.
Yes,
I don't have half
Chibuzo.
these people's name in front of me. About the ticks. Do you think it was trying to warn him for any reason? Warn Morrow for any reason about the xenomorph? Like not calling him, but just sort of crying out to sort of try to scare the xenomorph away? I don't know.
And the way I kind of see, what did you call it? The Oculus?
OCELLUS is the
Okay.
name that was
I've been calling
on the
him
computer
Octo.
screen file.
Yeah, I just call him the octopus
So
guy.
the way I feel like all those things, all those interactions,
Oh,
that
also, it's
creature
a
is
her, we learn,
oh,
according
so
to
that creature
Chibuzo.
is very smart, right? We realized that with the sheep
Yes.
thing last episode. So I
Yeah.
think trying to warn Chibuso is like, I need to do whatever I can to stay alive, and if this thing dies and I get stuck in this bottle, I'm fucked. So I'm gonna try to warn her about the ticks, and then when Morrow has the gun trained on him with the engineer's body, like I need to distract this guy. So let me call the xenomorph over, and then I'll figure out the next step there, which maybe was a miscalculation of how. But even after the fight, like it tried to get onto the xenomorph's face, which I don't think they have
Mhm.
eyes, so I don't know where it was trying to burrow
No.
itself.
I mean, it's smart, but it's smart like a crow, right? Where like you don't really have to worry
Yeah.
unless there's like more than 5 of them, probably.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not true. You got to worry about one of these things. But I'm talking about intelligence
Yeah.
wise. What I didn't understand is that when it attacks Zaverni, but it doesn't kill her. I was like, oh, it killed her, and that's why the xenomorph went away, because the xenomorph's like, oh, there's no like viable hosts in this room anymore. When it was outside the door,
Mm-hmm.
and it just sort of left. But I guess it was leaving to find another way in the room. But the point is, why did it just attack her and knock her out and not kill her? Right? Is it not killing humans because it uses humans as hosts or something? Is there something else we haven't learned about this thing? Is it secretly the hero of the series?
Maybe.
God, I hope so. That'd rule.
And then the little funny moment where Morrow pops out of the vent.
Yeah, and then just right
Yeah.
afterwards, he just climbs out. Like, what I miss?
And then she already welded the door shut, and then he's just like, you know what? Fuck that, and just opens the door
Robot arms
anyway.
that open.
One thing I will like to say that actually we saw in the first episode, but I forgot to say then, I love the scene where when Morrow is in Mother's room and Zaverni's like pounding on the door to be let in, like after the xenomorph kills her, it's like down in that little hallway off to the side, and rather than turning around going back to the door, it backs up like a delivery truck and then looks in the window.
Yeah, it's very odd.
That was really funny
Very
to
odd
me.
behavior, but okay. It's whatever. You know.
I mean, I'm not bringing it up because I'm hating on it. I just thought it was funny, and I thought it was an amusing image to just watch he didn't even really like step backwards. It was too smooth for that. It's like he glided or rolled backwards to turn into the window. He's backed up like a fucking delivery truck. Where was the
He was
beep
trying to
beep?
show off that he can like back into parking spaces, right? He's one of those guys.
He can moonwalk.
You know. Yeah.
I get you. Hell yeah.
I want to go back a little bit because I think we skipped the Malachite vomiting blood and then surgery stuff.
Well, to be fair, we didn't skip. We can just talk about whatever we feel like talking about. It's all good.
We're not going in any kind of order here. Just bring up whatever you want.
Yeah. First of all, I was like, where is the surgery machine from Prometheus? No, yeah. Is it Prometheus?
MedPod.
From Prometheus. MedPods, we
MedPod.
learn in various things, are extremely expensive equipment. I think the one in Prometheus was still a prototype. And they hardly ever pop up. And, we saw that they've got what looks like a MedPod on Neverland, right?
Yeah.
They put
it seems to be,
Joe in it. But
yeah,
I don't think they're going to stock just any old ship with that. That's why they still have doctors and stuff, because it's got to be cheaper, right?
For sure.
And speaking of doctors, like, man, when the little leech came off and whatever, I don't know,
and
dust or mist exploded, I was like, oh,
you gassed
every single alien line form, like, just don't touch him at all. Like, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucked. Complimentary.
Yeah.
I actually really liked that scene a lot. I thought
it was a little OP. I think that would be patched out in Alien Earth 2.0 when they update it.
I don't know that the gas is what killed him, or if the sterilizing the room to try to kill the ticks is what killed him.
Well, because their eyes started bleeding before they even sterilized the thing. I think it was at least the doctor. What's his name? Rahim.
Raheem, yeah.
He got like the gas, I think, for sure. Like he just started bleeding out of his eyes.
He keeled over immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it is extremely OP then.
Which I guess they did mention like their I don't know. I'm gonna get too in the weeds about it, but they did like they were like the life cycle for the ticks is if they get hungry enough, then they will eat something that's dead.
Right.
So why would part of their defense mechanism be killing something that removes them, or why would they have the ability to just like kill something straight up? Because you think they would want it alive so they can feed on the blood.
Yeah, that's maybe why I'm wondering, like, maybe it was just a paralysis thing, and then the sterilization killed them because they like really filled that room with a bunch of gas trying to get rid of the.
That's fair. I'll buy
ticks.
that.
They sure did, and it didn't even work.
He killed the
anyway.
ticks. Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that this is to go back to what I was saying earlier about be careful what you wish for. This episode is showing us all of the things that we saw inside this ship in episode 2, right? For the most part. We're obviously we're seeing how the lab got damaged and how, the certain things got loose, and we're seeing how, they saw this guy in surgery and they were like, why would they do surgery on somebody who's, while the ship is crashing? And we're seeing that play out, and we're seeing why his chest is opened up and it looked like a chest burster, but it's not, and why the photographs say that there were foreign bodies in them, and we're finding out all of this stuff, and it's answering all of these questions. And I do not like having every question answered, and I recognize that like this showed us just fleshed out the story, and it fleshed out Morrow's story in particular in ways that we haven't talked about yet that I'd like to get into. And all of that was really valuable, and it all did add to the series. But I don't think I wanted to see every single moment like that, which is like, Bob, I like what you were saying about seeing a lot of this play out in vignettes throughout the other episodes. It might have been a better way to go as opposed to just showing us the whole thing. Because having unanswered information in alien stuff in general makes it better, in my opinion. And I don't think...
Neal?
What's up?
Oh, finish your thought. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
I don't think a good substitute for that is going the Prometheus route of we're gonna give you a whole bunch of information and answers to things, but that's also gonna bring a whole new set of questions, right? Because it's like, well, I don't care about that new set of questions. Why'd you give me answers to things I didn't want answers to?
Yeah.
You use Prometheus as the comparison there, but there's actually a much more apt sci-fi horror movie comparison that you're completely glossing over. I'd like to point out to everyone, including the listeners, that Neal started off this episode by saying that he thought this episode was pretty good. And then roughly 50 minutes into it, he goes, you know what this episode reminds me of? The Thing 2011. Get fucked, dude.
The Thing 2011. There you go. Right? Answers all these questions about the first movie that you don't need answers.
No one was wondering.
Yeah. And it still kind of sets you up with more mysteries, right? But they're just not as good as the ones you originally had. So like, why? Right? Like, we still have the mystery of like the actual mission that these people were on, the other set of crew members, how Petrovich or whatever his name is, like, was really pulling all of these things off, where all of these species came from, how they collected them, how Weyland-Yutani found out about them. All of these other mysteries are still there, but the how and why of how this ship crashed on Earth is now been told to us. And I think I liked it better when it was a mysterious ship crash with one survivor and a bunch of monsters. And the only information we really gathered from it was from a search and rescue crew walking through and seeing like, whoa, they were doing some surgery on some guy here and he's fucked up. And holy shit, these specimens got out of the lab over there and really ate that guy's brain out. That's more fun to me, I think, just to have that stuff exist and not be like really to be shown and not told, I guess.
I agree.
To be able to think about it and speculate about it, as opposed to like having 2 pages of notes here about exactly what happened on that ship.
Well, as and I don't know if I want to open this door, but as somebody that really enjoys the Star Wars prequels. Like, give me every freaking answer. Tell me where this like knife came from. Tell me how C-3PO was made. Like, just give me all of it.
Even if it doesn't make sense, like it doesn't, like in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Let me sort that out on my own. That's my own. That's my cross to bear afterwards.
Yeah, I'm like pretty much right in the middle of those two opinions, because I'm like, intellectually, I recognize that it's introducing and then immediately answering questions that not only didn't need to be answered, but that we as viewers didn't even know were questions to begin with.
Right.
But on the other hand, answering those questions effectively gave us another Alien movie. And so I'm like, you know what? So it's fine then. I will just take this because it's cool and I like seeing monsters running around and killing people. If that's what they got to do to explain why there's monsters running around, cool. I will accept it. No questions asked. It's fine.
Yeah. But again, it gave us an Alien movie with like a $2 million made for TV budget. Like,
yeah, that doesn't bother me. I mean, that was your opinion, not mine. I don't have a problem with the fact that
Yeah,
it's
you
low
know.
budget. So that
it
that
gave us an
doesn't
Alien
upset
movie
me.
with the budget of Jason X, which I brought up a few minutes ago.
Yeah, and like we know you don't hate Jason X, so what's the
But
problem?
I also don't hold Jason X to the same esteem that I hold an Alien film to, right? Like they are two very different things. Jason X is allowed to look like a television show. Yeah, again, I know I sound like a hater. I'm not hating. I liked this, and I will look forward to watching this episode again when I inevitably do rewatch this series. But it doesn't work for me as an Alien movie, and it's not supposed to, right? Like, but it's just, and then it has all the problems of like it also took us away from the main story for an episode. As much as we learn about Morrow, we learn to sympathize with him. We learn that he was born with, I forget, yeah,
Palsy.
his arm. You know, that's why he has his
Yeah.
his cyborg implant is basically a prosthetic, right? And
Yeah,
he's
pretty
being,
much.
and he has, there were other comments in this about him being a cyborg. Someone was like, oh, the doctor, when he was commenting that he doesn't sweat, the doctor was like, oh, is that a side effect of not being a human anymore or something like that, or not being fully human,
Yeah.
right?
Or are you just a badass?
Yeah, and we learn, you know, we see him like just looking at his,
He got taken in by Yutani when he was a kid.
yeah, we learn that
Yeah.
his deeper connection to Yutani. We learn, I mean, he's like sitting there reading the letters and stuff from his daughter, who he knows he isn't going to see anymore. While We'll Meet Again plays, right?
Yeah,
And then
it sure
he's humming
does.
that song at the end when he's in the impact room, because for all he knows,
Yeah.
he's about to die, right?
Yeah, he sure is also doing that.
The
Yes.
episode reinforces the idea that like he has given his entire life to this and actually missed his daughter. Like, you know, when he brought up the daughter talking to Slightly, I thought, well, maybe he's just doing this to manipulate Slightly, but we find out, no, it's actually true. Right.
Yeah, the daughter is actually a real person. He didn't invent that to con Slightly. And not only that, but everything he said about her is actually true.
We also find out now that this ship was sabotaged by Boy Cavalier. So now somehow Wayland Yutani, or helping Wayland Yutani recover the specimens or keep them out of Boy Cavalier's hands, because Boy Cavalier essentially caused all of this death and destruction to the city and all of these innocent lives to die.
Yeah.
Makes Morrow now heroic, even though he's not being a hero, right? There's a lot of really fantastic stuff in this episode. I think that this episode needs to be in the series. But there was also just a lot of stuff that I was like, this is just worse Alien with a bunch of people I don't give two fucks about.
It is wild to think about how that dude sabotaged a 65-year space mission for a company that literally didn't even exist when the ship set off from Earth.
Yeah, he didn't even know the name.
Because like he's talking to Boy Cavalier, who like when we see him on the video screen looks the same as he does now, which means like this guy decided to start sabotaging this ship like a week
Yeah.
ago.
And he's doing it to get a body, right? To get a hybrid body.
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't know.
He sure
doesn't
is.
know
How
that
does
they
he
can't.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Boy Cavalier told him about it, knowing that the guy wasn't going to survive.
So Boy
I don't know.
Cavalier hit up the Weyland-Yutani ship that was millions of miles away from Earth and said, "Hey, is anyone here susceptible to getting bribed in any kind of way to give me whatever is on board this ship?"
Yeah.
And then one guy was like, "As a matter of fact, sir, yes, I am."
Yeah, that is a new unanswered question,
Yeah.
isn't it? Somehow the information leaked, right? And and they're back close enough to Earth that communications can now go back through to the ship, right? Because we know that they had the ability to communicate, right?
Yeah, and like I said, like Prodigy literally didn't exist when the ship set off, which means that like the arrangement that Petrovich made with Cavalier had to have like just happened like within the last several days during the return.
That makes
trip.
it even more annoying that he sent all of the Lost Boys there, because he knew fully that there were, dangerous alien specimens on board.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like an unsafe environment for them, and still gave them the go ahead to go wander around there. Also, no one was given orders to do anything. Like, it was treated as if it was an accident that had happened, but you would think that Boy Cavalier would be like, "Hey, yes, it is an accident, but also we need you to secure what's on board the ship."
Right.
It doesn't seem like that.
Well,
I guess when they rescue Hermit, that crew there is aware of what's going on and like locks everything down. But
I bet Timothy Oliphant probably also knows what's going on.
Yeah, is it Kirsch's mission, and that's why Kirsch went right to the lab and started reading up on the specimens and everything?
Yeah, that would make
Was
sense
that
then.
maybe his secret mission? But you're right. Boy Cavalier doesn't give orders. He's just like, and then he's just like, yeah. But then did he send Joe's team there specifically to get Wendy to volunteer to go?
Maybe.
He didn't necessarily give them instructions to go like inside the ship, right? They're there to just secure the.
Well,
but
he
were
knows
search and
protocol,
rescue,
probably.
right?
Yeah. I mean, it's all his city. These are all his toys, which is wild.
Yeah,
right?
he's just smashing his Legos together.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think he cared. I think he's like, if they're in my city, the specimens get loose, I'll get them eventually, maybe.
Yeah, which is why I love that line. Like that Moore was like, yeah, like the other thing I wanted. Not only am I gonna get you your stuff back, but then I'm gonna call the one called Cavalier. And I was like, and also he said it like in the coolest meeting room ever with like these samurai with guns.
That was very Blade Runner.
I love it.
Yeah, it was.
I love that set. I want to
Zen
see
Garden.
that whole place. So cool. I love that last scene.
I have a note here. Zaverny uses the term ovomorphs when she's typing to Mother. Is this because she knew about? Is this because they knew about ovomorphs in universe already?
It sounds like because they also know about the xenomorph and they know that it's gonna get bigger. They just don't know how big.
Okay, so real quick, the bigger thing, like they make the logical jump from this thing just hatched to how big is this thing going to get? It's going to get bigger really, really fast. And it seemed like they just thought about it, which I was like, hey, this is great. Finally, someone is thinking these things are going to grow, as opposed to the number of times, I think most recently in Superman Aliens that we've read on the show, Kenny, where they're like, who cares? Yeah. It's just a little guy, right?
Yeah.
But because they made that realization so quick. I was like, this doesn't feel right. They're not supposed to be on board so fast and understand these things so quickly.
Well, I just took it under the assumption that they already knew because I might have even been in that same scene. Morrow basically says, he got implanted, the thing's gonna
Right.
hatch, it's gonna come out, and then it's gonna get bigger and start killing stuff. And when he said that to everyone, they did not react as if this was new information
Yeah.
to them, which leads me to believe that they're already aware of the xenomorph's life cycle.
They're aware to the point that they have a term for the ovomorph. So where do you think they got this information, huh? David's transmissions?
I do
The
not
Steel
think
Egg
that, no.
dossier?
Uh,
The Crew Expendable
It would be-
podcast?
Dude, it would be so fucking funny if this show made Steel Egg canon
I'm
again.
arguing for it so hard because it's the last book we read.
It would be so fucking funny, dude. Oh fuck.
So speaking of, there's a part where they're when Morrow is telling him, like, this thing's loose and it's big and it's going to grow and it's going to kill people, and I'm armed and she's armed and he's armed and nobody else is armed because one of you's a fucking traitor, and they're all like, hey, come on, blah blah blah, and then somebody goes, why do we even have guns?
that was funny.
And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you guys were just on a mission to collect hostile predatory species from around the universe, bring them on board. One of them is a giant pod the size of a human with like a weird tentacle that comes out. And you're like, no, we don't need guns. We don't need any weapons to deal with these things. What do you mean, why do we have guns?
Also, side note, they need to stop fucking teasing that flora that might be fauna and just have it fucking do something. It's been 5 fucking episodes. I want to see what it fucking does.
Eat Boy Cavalier. That's how he's gonna get got.
God, I hope so. That would rule.
It's
Fuck.
gonna do a nice callback to what is it, the Batman and Robin movie where Poison Ivy gets eaten by the big plant.
Yeah, there we go. It's
There we go. Perfect. Love it.
And then someone's going to say, everybody chill, and shoot a freeze gun all over the place.
Take
right.
two of
Take
these,
2 of
call me
these,
in the
call me
morning.
Bang!
Yeah, do I have, what else is big?
Smashing Pumpkins, baby!
Oh, yeah, the needle drop at the end. Do we want to talk about that? I have not thought about Cherub Rock in
No one has.
decades.
Really?
Personally,
Bro, you gotta watch the Pink Pop 94, Pink Pop 93 video, Smashing Pumpkins.
You were playing that on a stream one time, I think.
Bro, that's the good. It's like a 1-2 punch. It's like Cherub Rock into Geek USA.
I haven't thought about Cherub Rock specifically in a while, but I was very recently thinking about the Smashing Pumpkins because also, literally last night, I finished watching season 2 of Twisted Metal, and the credit song over the end of the final episode is Disarm.
Okay.
Good song.
And so they played Disarm on there, and then the next day, a different episode of a different show ends also with a Smashing Pumpkins song, and I was like, why won't Billy Corgan leave me the fuck alone?
Smashing Pumpkins. Hey, most of the time I think about Smashing Pumpkins is October 31st, all right?
Thank you, Neal. I appreciate that.
I'm a troublemaker.
I'm giving you a bonus for
The
that.
time I think about Smashing Pumpkins is when I'm formulating my social or political opinions, and I refer to Billy Corgan's thoughts.
He does have some good ones.
He certainly does.
He has some interesting ones.
No, they're good. I support everything he's ever said.
I've seen how he runs a wrestling promotion, so I'm pretty dubious about what's going on. So
he doesn't actually have good ones. Also, I'm more of a Zwan guy. Was that his other band?
No, you're not. Shut up.
I just want to add, like, in one of his ideas for this booking for wrestling was that one of his wrestlers take a bump of cocaine at a pay-per-view.
Okay.
Because that's gonna bring all these sponsors.
Oh my god.
Sure. Thank you, Billy Corgan. I appreciate it.
Do we need to be giving him alien TV show royalties?
Well, he's
I
getting
know.
them, so
The playlist that's gonna come out of me watching this show is gonna be incredible. Like nothing I've ever experienced. Maybe since Guardians of the Galaxy put some really good music together for me.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, none of these needle drops have really like blown my mind personally.
yeah, none of them have done anything
We
for
are
me so
still
far.
firmly in the 90s, though. With the
Yeah,
I'm waiting
exception
yeah.
of
for
the Dio song, I think everything else has been like late 80s to early 90s.
and it's all
Yeah.
just a sort. I mean, I'm waiting for like give me like Mob Deep's Shook Ones Part 2,
Yes.
you know, and then you got my attention. But Noah Hawley seems to have a type of music,
Millennial
yeah.
right?
rock.
Although if we get the Spice Girls next episode,
Okay, well,
that should be
I don't think he can do that because of a certain movie that came out that did that recently.
oh well. Then I guess my favorite for now will be the Metallica "Wherever I Roam" at the end of the third episode.
Neil, I hate to break it to
I'm
you,
just
Neil. Spice
I'm
World came out in 1997, I think.
What?
7, yes, that's correct.
No, that can't be right. What did I see?
I'm I mean, I'm assuming, I have no reason to believe this is ever going to happen, but I really hope he busts out some fucking Biz Marquee. That would be so funny, dude. He starts playing Just a Friend over the end credits.
Jeez Louise.
He was
That would
talking to a
rock.
girl from the U.S. nation.
That's true.
Jeez.
There's got to be more content to this episode, right? Hold on. I got more important notes here somewhere.
It was
I
kind
might
of
not.
the other side of the coin to our talkie episode last time
Yeah,
is we got a lot of action episode.
you're right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say that I don't really have much to say about this episode, but it was really action heavy, and it was just like filling out paragraphs of sentences that we were already told in episode 1. And so I'm not saying I don't really have a whole lot to say. It's just that, it's basically just Alien Light, like Alien 1.5 with like a new cast, and it's a lot shorter, and they don't show as much
And
gore. The alien attacks are cool though. The action scenes are really fun, but like there's not a whole lot really happens
yeah,
overall, really.
it's one thing that I keep thinking about is like there's a whole gang of people on this ship in cryo this entire time that have no idea what's going on. And
Mhm.
they just get blinked out, right? Just no idea.
hmm
Sure do.
That's hell of a way to go.
I do want to emphasize how much I love the what's it called, the motion acting by the xenomorph, whoever's in that suit.
Yes,
Mhm,
he
mhm.
was
I love
fantastic.
how rigid like they stand up for a lot of the scenes, but they also like they go down on all fours when needed. Like man, just it feels like it's really
Yeah,
there for most of it.
I was going to say this earlier, but I decided to hold off, and I figure now would be a good time to say it. When Tom was on, and he was like, "Yeah, when you look at the xenomorph, you can absolutely tell it's just a dude in
Mhm.
a suit," and he meant that as like derogatory for the show. I love
Yeah.
it. I think that
Well,
Yeah.
fucking rules. I think it's so cool that you can clearly tell it's a dude in a suit, because that means it is practical effects, and that's the reason it works for me.
to speak more specifically about what Tom was saying, there's always a dude in a suit in these movies, right? But
Yeah.
in this one, you could really tell it was a dude in a suit. Like,
Well, and that's the reason I'm specifically bringing it up on this one, was because his complaint was that like it was in the light so much that you can tell it's just a dude in
Yeah.
a suit. You see the xenomorph even more in this episode than you did in that one, but like it doesn't bother me at all when he shows up, even when you can see him
Oh.
clearly, because I want to see the fucking
Yeah.
xenomorph, dude. That's what I'm
and it
here
was
for.
definitely working. I'm interested to hear what Tom thinks about it because it was definitely working a lot better for me. I've thought the xenomorph looked kind of bad until this episode. I was like, actually, it looks pretty good, and I think a lot of it was in seeing it in extended action scenes where it's it is moving from like you were like standing up and then down on crawling and then
Mhm.
Yeah, this MF's crawling on the walls,
And then that's
literally. He crawls up on the ceiling at one point.
and then all of that is clearly a mix between practical and CGI, but it's blended very well, and it does look really good.
I think the only time it breaks from that is when the xenomorph does something like a little too active, and it does that in full CG because the suit is obviously much more constrictive.
Right.
So it's like it goes from like, oh, you can tell guy in suit, and then it's like springing around from wall to wall, and that is like a little bit jarring.
Yeah, like when it leaps at someone, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, some like in episode 2, some of those leaps I think were practical, like wire leaps, but in this, like in the hallways, like that was, I don't think all of that was practical. I didn't make the show.
Unless they sped it up, but that'd be pretty difficult to shoot, I think. But
yeah.
But I think they also, as much as this was in the light, they had the strobe effect that hit it, and then the fight when he was fighting against the eyeballed engineer, not a capital E engineer, everybody. I already made the joke about we finally got a xenomorph fighting an engineer, right?
you did.
You did make that
Very
joke
good.
earlier, yes.
Let me make sure I get that in there. Pretty proud of that one. There was a lot of motion in that kept you really from like focusing in on the suit. I think it was kinetic, and that helped also. Whereas in like episode 2, where we got the most sort of guy in a suit xenomorph, maybe episode 2, there was he was standing there a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's when he's just standing there that you're like, yeah, okay. You're just standing there in like a weird, like French aristocrat ballroom,
I loved when the puppet Shmuel, like, he was gonna attack, but he goes and jumps on the thing first to try to get on its back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like I'm telling you, that thing is smart.
It is. I want more of those things.
Yeah, me too.
And then it tried to bite him. Shades of the Vampirella episode, Neal. We just
I want to learn that there's more than one of these things, and we didn't realize.
Or like, I want to see it multiply at the end or something.
Yeah,
like maybe it just divides into another one.
Well, when we catch up with it, it's in the cat. So I'm wondering. I mean, we don't know how it reproduces, right?
Right.
And that cat was all screwed up.
It sure
it's
was.
in the sheep right now, right?
It's in the sheep right now.
Yeah. I think that was the last time we saw it.
It's plotting its moves. I don't know if I mentioned this, but since we were talking about the xenomorph, when it drops in behind Severi, I love that. Just they pick some really cool angles to show some really gnarly shit all throughout this episode.
Yeah,
and I think that's a big, like, the cinematography on this like really made me excited for this.
That's when I was like, wow, this is probably the best the Xeno has looked so far. Where that was right before the hallway chase, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I was like, I know it's not gonna kill her because I know she's there later. But even then, I was like, run, lady.
Speaking of which, though, I did think it was really cool how, like, when they actually showed the xenomorph killing her, it's like clawing her up, but it also like just like picks her up and just starts slamming her against the floor and the walls and stuff. I thought that was like, I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking brutal for what this show has been able to show us so far.
It did that to someone in the second episode too. It like grabbed someone and like just swung them around, and didn't it?
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah, didn't it like smash someone against like the statue in the courtyard or something like that?
Yes.
Or something, yeah. Like right outside the French aristocrat room, I think it smashes someone against that statue or that fountain or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever, this one came out of Bronsky, so he must have had some demons in him, right?
Yeah, probably.
Some dirt on its face.
Definitely got some dirt on his face. Anything else anybody wanna mention about this one?
No, just the actor portraying Morrow. Like, I think he's the GOAT in this episode, and not just this episode. I think the series.
Yes,
he's probably the
Babo
best
Sese.
actor. Yeah.
I I got a real dark laugh out of when he was reading that note from the company letting him know that his daughter died, and they're like, "We will keep your effects here so you can pick them up in 53 years when you get
I
back."
know, heartbreaking. And then
And it's like, I laughed, but not because it was funny. Like I said, it was like a very like black comedy
Yeah.
laugh. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, that fucking sucks."
Yeah, man. A little to credit the filmmaking abilities. If this was in the writing, if this was the director of the episode, when we see this in episode 1 in the crash when he gets into the impact room. Which, quick side note, I like that Tom pointed this out to me. I wasn't even thinking about it. This fixes a quote unquote error in Alien about how Ash got into the mother room when Ripley was in there
Yeah.
without her noticing. He was hiding in an impact room.
Yeah.
Which
I
is
think
very
we
cool.
established that.
Did we talk about it on the show?
Yeah, I think so.
Because Bob or Tom told me about it afterwards. I didn't remember if we brought it up on the show or not.
That sounds familiar, but I couldn't remember if it was because I just remember him telling us this, or if it was because we actually talked about it on the show.
Me, I guess.
But it's been brought up at least in private, if not necessarily.
He probably did bring it up when he was on the show. I was a bit distracted that day because everything on my internet was breaking. So
I sure was.
Anyway,
this ship doesn't have a synth then, huh?
No, it didn't seem to.
Which seems weird.
No, I don't think so.
Seems odd that they would send a ship where most of the people... I know they have a rotating cryo schedule, but...
Like, it does seem weird that they would go on a 65-year mission without someone who can't age and die, but, what do I know?
Okay. Real quick on that. They do talk about how they've lost people on this mission. Maybe they lost their synth out there somehow.
It broke.
That's true.
Maybe. They left it on the charger at the hotel.
Yeah, sometimes it happens.
Like,
they just got a box of like synths people left behind. So
lost and found.
When Morrow is in the impact room and the xenomorph gets in the room, it like drops this like spit on him, saliva on his face. And in this scene, in this episode, when it's showing that the end of the events that we saw in the first episode, when he's in the impact room, we see that, and then it cuts to a scene of him looking at all of the letters and things he had from his daughter, and he's crying. And so like the saliva from the xenomorph like then transitions into the tears that were running down his face when he was looking at all of the stuff from his daughter. And it's just like interesting moment highlighting exactly what like this monster that's trying to kill him now is what he gave his entire life for and what he lost his daughter over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure that Neal and I have, at the very least, have already gone on record as saying that Morrow is our favorite character on the show. This episode definitely cements him, though, for sure, like bar none with a bullet. Absolutely Morrow, the GOAT of the show.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Wendy's my favorite, but I think Morrow's the best actor.
I'm okay with that. That seems like a reasonable opinion to have. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
The thing I want to know about him is why he elected to go on this mission. This is not loyalty to Mrs. Yutani or Ms. Yutani. I know that we learned that the previous Miss Yutani, this one's great grandmother or grandmother, I forget. Grandmother took him in and everything and helped him, saved his life and helped him get his arm fixed and everything. But I don't think that's enough reason for him to walk away from his daughter because she was still very young when he left. Because we see him talking to her about how, if she misses him, just he points to like where he's going, just like look up there and that's where I am, and all of her letters and things. She's very, like the handwriting is very young still. So he must have done this. His motivation must have something to do with her, right? And I do wonder if that's going to come into play. Like maybe she was also terminally ill.
So my takeaway from this, sorry to cut you off.
Go ahead.
My takeaway from this was Yutani took a liking to him, gave him the arm,
Right.
and maybe was like, "You're under contract now for the arm.
Yeah, you owe us for the arm.
We have this. You're a security officer. We have this ship, this expedition coming up. We need you on it." And kind of against his will, was forced into it.
That could absolutely be it, and it likely is, unfortunately.
Well, so the only reason I think that is because the engineer, the older engineer, when he's talking about like, oh, my wife was 30 years old when I left for this mission.
Right.
Like, why, if you have a family or a life on Earth, why would you take a mission where you're not going to see them again? Unless it is against your will or for some dire circumstances.
Right. I mean,
I just honestly operated under the assumption that his loyalty to Mrs. Yutani was stronger than his loyalty to his family, because as he said, she took him in when he was a child, which means he's been raised and getting taken care of by Mrs. Yutani before he ever had a daughter in the first place.
But
and that could be him securing her future, right? He didn't know that she was gonna die, probably.
This is what
whatever
I'm saying.
happened. So like, he goes on this mission, and now his family is secured for the future. Even if he never sees him again.
This is what I'm saying. I think he took this mission. I don't think his loyalty to the Utanis is stronger than his loyalty to his daughter, and I think the only reason he's taking this specific mission so hard, either he's compensating for the fact that he lost everything, and he doesn't want it to be for nothing, so he's trying to, take his revenge on the guy who ruined this and killed everybody and almost killed him, and all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And take his revenge on Boy Cavalier. Or B, he's got some other motive that we haven't seen, and maybe he's not loyal to the Wayland Yutani at all, right? And there's another, just something we haven't learned about his character yet. But I don't think that he's more loyal to the Utanis than his own daughter. I think he did it to try to save her. And I think that the specific reason I think he did it is because he lost a child young, and this is a story about other families who have thought that they lost their children young, but found out that their children have actually been put into robot bodies, right? So while he is on one side of things and has lost a child, on this other side, there are all of these terminally ill children who have, quote unquote, now been saved and made immortal by a rival corporation. And I think it's somehow part of the story, right? It puts him in opposition to Boy Cavalier and Prodigy in a different way than just he screwed up my mission and I want revenge, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking like there's got to be a little bit more there, and
That's okay. I mean, this isn't the first time we've disagreed on what something meant on this show, so it's
we got 3 more episodes. Hopefully
it probably won't be the last.
Hopefully we'll figure it out in the next few
3 episodes. Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else.
Yeah, that's kind of all of my notes.
Tapped out.
Doc gonna rocket cap into space. Blood ticks. Oh, I hate all these fuckers. Are they supposed to be likable? Made for TV Alien. I think I'm good.
I did almost think we were gonna make this a 2-parter, because I was like,
that would have been interesting.
I was like, damn, they're really gonna show us a lot, but
devoting a full 25% of the runtime to the events of the ship, that would have been interesting.
Yeah. I like that. Again, I like that we overall. I think I'm satisfied that we saw this story play out.
Yep.
I think there's parts of it that are very important to the overall series. I probably would have liked it woven in a little bit more. And I think that just to hit on one more point, the shit in the lab with everything, all the protocols being broken and all the stuff getting loose was so dumb. It made me just angry, versus if I didn't see that scene happen and we only saw that there was containment breaches and these monsters got loose, that's just better than seeing that, like, oh, she didn't secure a jar on the wall, right?
Yeah.
That's why it makes me angry. I don't know. It's just me.
I mean, Danny already specified that he does not agree with you that that's better.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
I
all
want
right.
next episode to be from the point of view of the Oculus, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
To retell the entire events of the episode from a different character's perspective.
This episode, but from that character's perspective, or
That's
like
right. Yes.
just while it's hanging out in the sheep in the lab,
And it's all through that like vision that is kind of splintered or whatever. So
Like the compound eye
Yeah.
vision. Yeah.
that was fun. It was fun to see the xenomorph, it fighting the xenomorph through there. And I like that's one thing I like. I like that we're seeing these species come in contact with each other finally, and not just be these separate entities that we saw this Oculus come in contact with the xenomorph. I'm hoping we get more of that.
I also thought it was really gross when that blood bug crawled into the dude's head.
Yeah, that was gnarly.
That ruled.
Okay, I have a quick theory. What if the xenomorph gets into that? Oh, like not the xenomorph, but a facehugger gets into that flora thing, whatever, and we get like a really rad new type of xenomorph.
Well,
and we get like a plant
something like that. Yeah.
What you're not considering is that it presents as flora, but it might be fauna.
Yeah.
Which also means it might not be fauna.
Sure.
So.
That would be fun.
It will refer to the Earth binary of flora or fauna, though.
Yeah,
that's correct. Yes.
Yes.
That is how non-Earth biology
no spectrums
works.
Here.
That is correct.
Should we wrap it up?
I think so.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Let's plug away again.
Go ahead, Danny.
Well, you can find me at Next Issue Podcast on YouTube. If you want to follow me personally, that is Echo Spider. That's ECKO Spider. I was gonna give you my email. In really most places, like I only use Blue Sky and Instagram and Threads. But yeah, you can follow me those places if you want to see what I'm doing personally. But it's mainly just talking about the same garbage. Also, check out. They made another one. That's a pretty good podcast. I hear.
Oh yeah, that is it. You probably should check out that podcast.
Let's see if Corey and the gang listens to this part.
Yeah, especially an upcoming episode very soon.
Right. Okay.
Oh.
Got him.
Bob, what do you got going on?
Hey, you can go Flock Podcast to hear me talk about what the hell ever you want to hear me talk about with my friends, or mostly vegan food in a very local East Coast city. Also, you can go to twitch.com/respectable street and watch me do my thing on Fridays. And you can call me at 804-286-0626 if you want. Leave a message.
Twitch.tv/respectable street. Yeah. You want me to keep that phone number in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Kenny, what do you got? What's up?
I'm on, or my handle is at CYHOBBEZ. I'm on Twitter and I'm on Blue Sky, but I very infrequently remember to actually post on either of them. I mostly just open up and scroll through the homepage and look at posts and forget to make any of my own, but I'm still there. So, Neal,
I'm going
ahead.
to bed soon. Kenny, where can people find our show on the internet?
Our Twitter, which is run by me, is at Crew Expendapod. Our Blue Sky is at Crew Expendable. Our Instagram and Threads, which is run by Neal, is at Crew Expendable Pod. Our website is crewexpendable.net. Our email is mother@crewexpendable.net. Our YouTube page is youtube.com/@crewexpendable. And our donation page is coolerbot.net.
Coolerbot.net. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Bob, Danny, thank you for hanging out late on a Tuesday night. Talking Alien Earth.
Hey, club going up.
We'll be back. I'm tired. We'll be back later. So until then,
stay frosty.